What if everything you've been told about success is a carefully crafted illusion? From childhood, we're taught to play fair, to be nice, to wait our turn. But look around. Are the people at the top really the ones who followed the rules? Or are they the ones who wrote their own? The truth is, the world isn't run by the kind-hearted or the compliant. It's run by those who understand the hidden blueprint of power. Those who dare to use strategies most people are too afraid to even acknowledge. This isn't about being evil or ruthless for the sake of it. It's about seeing the world as it truly is, not as you wish it to be. Machiavellianism isn't just a word from your high school history class. It's a mindset, a set of principles that have quietly shaped the rise of kings, CEOs, and influencers for centuries. While the masses cling to comforting cliches, a select few operate by a different set of rules. Rules that let them get everything they want, often without anyone realizing how they did it. Today, I'm going to reveal 5 Machiavellian rules that separate the powerful from the powerless. These aren't the recycled tips you'll find in self-help books. They're the forbidden strategies that give you an unfair advantage in life, work, and relationships. If you're ready to break free from the herd and see the world through the eyes of a true strategist, keep watching, because once you know these rules, you'll never see power the same way again. Now let's unlock the first rule. Imagine you're in a room full of ambitious people, each one sizing up the competition. Most are busy puffing up their chests, desperate to prove their strength, intelligence, or status. But the real power player, they're the one who seems harmless, maybe even a little out of place. They're the one you'd never expect to make a move, until it's too late. This is the art of appearing weak, then striking hard. It's a Machiavellian principle, as old as power itself. And it's one of the most effective forms of strategic deception you'll ever use. Mainstream advice tells you to never hide your light, to always show your best self. But here's the hidden truth. When you constantly broadcast your strengths, you become a target. People prepare for you, guard themselves, and plot against you. But when you downplay your abilities, when you let others underestimate you, you gain a priceless advantage. Surprise. The underestimated are ignored, dismissed, and left unguarded. That's when you make your move. History is full of examples. Think of the legendary Sun Tzu, who wrote, "Appear weak when you are strong, and strong when you are weak." Or consider the story of David and Goliath. Not just a tale of courage, but of calculated misdirection. David let Goliath believe he was just a boy with a slingshot, not a threat. Goliath's arrogance became his downfall. In the modern world, this principle is everywhere. The quiet intern who suddenly outshines the manager. The overlooked startup that disrupts an entire industry. The friend who seems to have no agenda until they're the one closing the deal. But let's get practical. How do you use this rule in your own life? Start by resisting the urge to correct every misconception about you. If someone underestimates your intelligence, let them. If they think you're inexperienced, don't rush to prove them wrong. Instead, observe, gather information. Let them reveal their plans, their weaknesses, their blind spots. When the time is right, when the stakes are high and the opportunity is real, that's when you strike, not with hesitation, but with precision and force. This isn't about being fake or living a lie. It's about strategic self-presentation. You're not hiding your strengths forever. You're choosing the perfect moment to reveal them. Think of it as playing chess, not checkers. Every move is calculated. Every appearance is intentional. The more others underestimate you, the more room you have to maneuver. And when you finally reveal your true power, the impact is devastating. Ask yourself, when was the last time you let someone underestimate you? Did you use it to your advantage, or did you rush to prove yourself? The next time you're tempted to show off, remember, sometimes the most powerful move is to appear weak, then strike hard. And as you master this art of deception, you'll find yourself in control of situations others never even saw coming. But strategic deception is only the beginning. To truly control outcomes, you need to master the next rule, controlling the narrative itself. Think about the last time you lost an argument. missed a promotion, or felt misunderstood? Was it really because you lacked skill or intelligence? Or was it because someone else controlled the story? In every arena, business, relationships, even social circles, the person who shapes the narrative shapes reality. This is the Machiavellian art of narrative control, and it's the difference between being a pawn and being the player who moves the pieces. Mainstream wisdom says, the truth will set you free. But in the real world, truth is only as powerful as the story wrapped around it. People don't respond to raw facts. They respond to meaning, emotion, and perception. The most influential people aren't always the smartest or the most talented. They're the ones who know how to frame events, spin setbacks into strengths, and make their version of reality the one everyone else believes. Look at history's power brokers. Politicians who turn scandals into comebacks. CEOs who rebrand failures as pivots. Even in your own life, you've seen it. The coworker who takes credit for a team win. The friend who always seems to be the victim, no matter what happens. They're not just lucky, they're masters of narrative. They know that if you control the story, you control the game. So how do you use this rule? Start by paying attention to the stories being told around you. Who's shaping the conversation at work? Who's defining your reputation in your social group? Don't just accept the narrative. Challenge it, redirect it, or create your own. If you make a mistake, don't let others define it as a failure. Frame it as a lesson, a bold experiment, or a necessary risk. If you achieve something, don't downplay it. Highlight the struggle, the odds you overcame, the value you brought. People remember stories, not statistics. But narrative control isn't just about self-promotion. It's about reading the room, understanding what people want to believe, and giving them a story that fits their needs. Sometimes, it means letting others think they're in control, while you quietly steer the direction. Other times, it means planting ideas subtly, letting them grow until they seem like everyone's idea but your own. The best manipulators rarely look like manipulators. They look like trusted advisors, friends, or even underdogs. Ask yourself, are you the author of your own story, or just a character in someone else's? The next time you're in a high-stakes situation, don't just react. Craft the narrative. Decide how you want to be seen, what you want remembered, and what you want forgotten. Because in the end, reality is flexible, and perception is power. Mastering the narrative is a game changer. But even the best story needs the right cast of characters. To truly win, you need to know how to make allies and how to use your enemies. That's where the next rule comes in. If you want to get everything you want in life, you can't do it alone. The myth of the lone wolf is just that, a myth. Even the most powerful figures in history, from emperors to tech moguls, understood the necessity of alliances. But here's the Machiavellian twist. It's not just about making friends. It's about using every relationship, ally, or enemy to your advantage. Mainstream advice tells you to avoid conflict, to keep your circle positive, to cut out toxic people. But the real world is messier. Power isn't just about surrounding yourself with supporters. It's about knowing how to extract value from every connection, even those who wish you harm. In fact, your enemies can be your greatest assets, if you know how to use them. Let's start with allies. Most people think alliances are built on trust and loyalty. That's only half the story. True strategic alliances are built on mutual benefit. Ask yourself, what do they want and what can you offer? The best alliances are transactional, not emotional. You don't have to like someone to work with them. You just need to understand their motivations and align your interests. This is how empires are built, through marriages of convenience, not love. But what about enemies? Here's where most people get it wrong. They waste energy trying to destroy their rivals, or worse, pretending they don't exist. Machiavellians do the opposite. They study their enemies, learn from them, and sometimes even collaborate with them. An enemy can be a mirror, showing you your weaknesses. They can be a motivator, pushing you to new heights. Sometimes, they can even be turned into an ally. If you find common ground or a shared enemy, think about it. Some of the most powerful partnerships in history began as bitter rivalries. Political opponents form coalitions to defeat a greater threat. Business competitors merge to dominate a market. Even in your own life, that coworker who's always challenging, you might be the perfect partner for a project if you can put ego aside and focus on results. But using enemies doesn't always mean befriending them. Sometimes it means letting them play their role. Let them underestimate you. Let them spread rumors. Let them take the spotlight. While they're distracted, you're free to maneuver behind the scenes. Their aggression can draw attention away from your real moves. Their mistakes can open doors for you. In the end, your enemies can become stepping stones to your goals, if you're willing to see the opportunity in every opposition. So, who are your allies and who are your enemies? Are you using both to your advantage? Or are you stuck in the trap of only seeking approval? The next time you encounter resistance, don't just react, analyze. Ask yourself how you can turn every relationship, positive or negative, into leverage. Because in the game of power, every piece on the board has value if you know how to play it. But even the best alliances and rivalries are useless if you can't control yourself. The next rule is about mastering the one thing most people never conquer: their own emotions. If you want to know why most people never get what they truly want, look no further than their emotions. They get angry and lash out, jealous and self-sabotage, anxious and freeze up. They let feelings dictate their decisions, and in doing so, they hand over control to anyone who knows how to push their buttons. Here's the Machiavellian truth. The person who masters emotional detachment becomes unbreakable. Emotional control isn't just a self-help cliche. It's the ultimate weapon in the game of power. Mainstream culture tells you to follow your heart, to be authentic, to let your feelings guide you. But if you look at the people who actually shape the world, you'll notice something different. They don't let emotions cloud their judgment. They don't get swept up in drama or lose their cool when things go sideways. Instead, they observe, calculate, and act with precision, no matter what's happening around them. This isn't about being a robot or suppressing your humanity. It's about learning to separate what you feel from what you do. Think about the last time someone tried to provoke you. Maybe a boss who criticized you in front of others, or a friend who betrayed your trust. Did you react impulsively, or did you pause and choose your response? The Machiavellian approach is to never let anyone see you sweat. When you're calm under pressure, you become unpredictable. People can't manipulate you if they can't read you. They can't control you if they don't know what gets to you. Emotional detachment is also the key to making hard decisions. Sometimes you'll have to walk away from people you care about, cut off opportunities that no longer serve you, or take risks that terrify you. If you're ruled by fear, guilt, or attachment, you'll hesitate, and hesitation is fatal in the pursuit of power. Detachment gives you the clarity to see situations as they are, not as you wish they were. It lets you weigh options objectively, act decisively, and accept the consequences without regret. But how do you develop this level of control? Start by becoming aware of your triggers. Notice what makes you angry, jealous, or anxious. Instead of reacting, ask yourself, what's really happening here? What outcome do I want? Practice pausing before you respond, especially in high-stakes moments. Over time, you'll find that the things that once rattled you lose their power. You'll become the calm in the storm, the person others look to for guidance when everyone else is losing their heads. Remember, emotional detachment doesn't mean you don't care. It means you care enough about your goals to not let temporary feelings derail you. It means you can show empathy without being manipulated, and you can form connections without becoming dependent. The world is full of people who are slaves to their emotions. If you can master yours, you'll stand out as a true strategist, someone who can't be played. And once you've mastered your emotions, you're ready for the final, most ruthless rule of all, knowing exactly when to walk away and when to destroy. There's a reason most people stay stuck, whether it's in dead-end jobs, toxic relationships, or losing battles. They cling to what's familiar, terrified of the unknown, convinced that persistence is always a virtue. But here's the Machiavellian reality. Sometimes, the most powerful move isn't to fight harder, but to walk away without looking back. And sometimes, when the stakes demand it, you don't just walk away, you burn the bridge so thoroughly that nothing can follow you. Mainstream advice glorifies perseverance. Never give up, they say. Winners never quit. But the world's most successful strategists know that knowing when to quit is just as important as knowing when to push forward. Walking away isn't weakness, it's intelligence. It's the ability to recognize when a situation is no longer serving you, when the cost outweighs the benefit, or when your energy is better spent elsewhere. The Machiavellian doesn't waste time trying to fix the unfixable. They cut their losses, regroup, and redirect their efforts to where they can actually win. But there's a darker side to this rule, one that most people are too afraid to even consider. Sometimes, walking away isn't enough. Sometimes, you have to destroy what's holding you back, completely and without mercy. This could mean ending a relationship that's become a liability, shutting down a project that's draining your resources, or exposing a rival who threatens your position. It's not about cruelty for its own sake. It's about survival and dominance. If you leave a threat alive, it can regroup, recover, and come back stronger. When the situation calls for it, you must be willing to eliminate obstacles so thoroughly that they can never rise against you again. Of course, this level of ruthlessness isn't for every situation. The true Machiavellian knows how to read the room, to sense when a clean break is enough, and when total destruction is necessary. It's a matter of timing, judgment, and self-control. Walking away can be an act of supreme power, especially when others expect you to beg, plead, or compromise. Destroying a threat can send a message that you are not to be trifled with, establishing a reputation that protects you long after the dust has settled. Ask yourself, what are you holding on to out of fear, habit, or misplaced loyalty? What situations or people are draining your energy, distracting you from your goals, or threatening your progress? Are you brave enough to walk away, or, if needed, to destroy what stands in your way? The world rewards those who act decisively, who refuse to be trapped by sunk costs or sentimental attachments. Mastering this rule means you're no longer a prisoner of your past or your circumstances. You become the architect of your own destiny, free to pursue what truly matters without being weighed down by what doesn't. And when you combine this ruthlessness with the other Machiavellian rules, you become a force that can't be stopped or ignored. But knowing the rules is only the beginning. The real question is, will you dare to use them? Let's bring it all together. You've just unlocked 5 Machiavellian rules that most people will never dare to use. You now know how to appear weak and strike hard, how to control the narrative and bend reality, how to turn both allies and enemies into leverage, how to master emotional detachment, and how to walk away or destroy when the situation demands it. These aren't the safe, sanitized tips you'll find in mainstream self-help. They're the forbidden strategies that separate the powerful from the powerless, the winners from the forgotten. But here's the truth. Knowledge alone changes nothing. The world is full of people who know what to do, but never act. The real edge comes from daring to use what you've learned, even when it feels uncomfortable or goes against everything you've been taught. So, which rule will you adopt first? Will you let others keep writing your story? Or will you take control and start playing the game to win? Drop a comment below with the rule you're going to use and why. If you're ready for more hidden power strategies, hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications, because this is just the beginning. Most people will watch and forget, but a few will act. and those few will change everything. The choice is yours.